Hello and welcome to the Vintage Magazine Archive. I'm Paul from Rebels of Hollywood, and today we're going to have a little look at a photoplay which actually from March 1957. So the photoplays are actually a little bit thicker. There's quite a lot more info in them. So we might have a little bit more of a flick through of this one than actually kind of going into detail as much as what we do with the picture goers. But on the cover we've got Elsa Martinelli. Looking pretty nice. This is actually my favourite blue, just so you know. But yeah, this is a really good looking cover. We do like that. So let's have a little gander, see what's inside. Okay, so we've got a little Gore skirts, one better. Got a nice little Bond Street of London advertisement there. We like that. Make your day with Cadbury. Still wanting more chocolate because of these magazines. I keep spending money buying more magazines and eating more chocolate. Presley, I say, is the new Valentino. Wow, there you go. I think Elvis Presley would be the 1957 Rudolph Valentino or John Gilbert. He can be a colossal screen lover. And this boy is no fool. He's determined to accomplish what he sets out to do, whether it's singing or acting. I doubt if the Valentino worshippers adored Rudolph any more than we Presley fans love Elvis. That's nice. We've got a little Sinatra here, Sinatra and Admirer. So this is the this is the bit where it people post in their points of views. That's pretty good, similar to the picture goers. Why So Shy, Mr. Nader? The George Nader story. Wow. Which is most like me, Anne Blythe husband's James McNulty. He looks perplexed. Gift from a fan. Elvis Presley investigates with Deborah Paget. Too hot to handle. I tell you, this girl is going to get the town on fire. Already she's been blacklisted by America's National League of Decency. Wow, that's always a good selling point. Carol Baker. That's a good little spread. I like that. That's very cosmetically pleasing. Life with Father. Tell me, I asked Pat Hitchcock, how is life with Father? No daggers, I asked. No bodies, no trail of blood, no shrunken heads under the bed. Wow. Apparently living with Alfred Hitchcock was very wholesome. There you go. Lots of cigar smoke inhalation, though. At last, Judy Garland confesses, I'm broke. Wow. But you were paid $35,000 a week at Las Vegas, I said. How can you be broke? I needed that money, said Judy, to pay off back taxes. It's true. Despite the fact that Judy Garland is one of the world's greatest entertainers, she has no money worth talking about. Oh, that is sad. Very common thing. Taxman, as the Beatles wrote about. My Daughter Joan by Mrs. Elsa Collins. I quite like that when they get the parents to write a story about the actor or actress. We were waiting for a taxi, the dark-haired girl and I. Her large eyes looked at me reproachfully, and her voice was an anguished wail. Do you really want me to go on being a juvenile delinquent mummy? The fabulous Mike Todd. We've got a little article here. As always as well, feel free to follow along and download the magazine. We always upload a free copy on our Patreon. We'll do a little link below. So there he is, they said. The guy who says he's going to marry Elizabeth Taylor. Wow. I looked across the acres of carpet and the most expensive suite money could rent to where a stocky, tough-looking little man was barking orders with the help of a dozen telephones and a couple of beautiful secretaries. That's a nice little article. Old Lizzie. Oh, did I miss a page? I think I did. Oh, I love this. I keep seeing this one pop up in quite a few. Teenage Rebel. I love anything rebel in it, but yeah, that's very, very pleasing. I like that. The one-armed charmer storms New York. They think, said Donald Gray, I have bedroom eyes. Ooh, controversial. What we came here for. That's definitely an exciting spread. Photoplay applauds Giant. So we got a nice little spread about Giant. The Love Dean Never Won, Elizabeth Taylor. It's a nice article. Feel free to have a little read of that. Girl of the Month. High Society's got the acting bug. First it was Philadelphia's debutante, Grace Kelly. Now her old classmate, Kathy Carlisle, has chucked the blue book for Hollywood. There you go. One of Grace Kelly's classmates. It's an interesting little tidbit. It's chocolate time. There we go again. I'm still hungry for chocolate. Hot chocolate this time. Cadbury's drinking chocolate. I think the thing was as well is that chocolate was such a special treat because obviously during war times everything was rationed. So I think you can really tell through the wartime magazines how much less advertising was in it, maybe to save money on pages and things like that. But after it really just got into these, they got a lot more thicker, even the picture goers and photo plays and all that. So yeah, it's really interesting just as a society level, cultural, how things had changed. So I do love all these advertisements. Now why I wonder all this fuss about Otto Preminger's Unknown, the small town girl he's picked to play St. Joan. It's interesting. Strawberry Sundays. Who we got up here? At the spot in Los Angeles where the Sunset Strip melts into Hollywood's proper, there are two adjacent establishments. One is the drugstore, Swabs, the other a restaurant, Gucci's. Yeah, I read a lot about this, actually. That does keep coming up, the drugstore. It's, you know, if you want to find any actors or actresses at that time, just go to that drugstore. I think Marilyn said something about it. And I was reading a James Dean book, and it said about that same drugstore. It was just the who's who of everyone was just all in that drugstore, and the restaurant opposite as well. Very, very cool. Has the Dors gamble paid off? Like another famous blonde, Diana Dors has led the kind of life that provides good copy. That's nice. Diana came home much richer than she went away. Charlton Heston, after playing Moses, says, I'll never be the same. The tough season extras were derisive. Look at those books, they said. What a ham. No wonder they swoon over Boone. I don't want to be known as a rock and roller. He's tall, dark and handsome. He's tanned with a good nose, a sensitive mouth and fine teeth. His first recording hit the top 10 in the States, and his second record, Ain't That a Shame, because the #1 bestseller. Became the #1 bestseller. Who is he? Pat Boone, a 22-year-old who sings rock and roll. He doesn't want to be known as a rock and roller, but he sings rock and roll. Twink, One Lotion Home Permanent. I love these bits as well. These are really, really nice. I think the photoplays have really aged well. You know, I've even had some really rubbish copies, you know, it's really been beaten up and maybe even got water damage, but inside they still seem to be really well intact and things like that. Pierre Angeli, or Angeli, she actually dated James Dean for a while. And there was like the story, I think it wasn't true, but that I think the truth was that she broke up with James Dean because her mum wanted James Dean to be a Catholic or something like that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But then she hastily got into quite a quick marriage, and during that marriage, the alleged story, which I don't think was true, was James Dean was opposite during the ceremony, gunning his motorcycle. But I think even James Dean actually said that wasn't true. Like, yeah, but still interesting stuff. Imperial lava. I actually had that soap when I was growing up, so obviously that stood the test of time. This way I stay a star. Well, I've done just about everything in my life, but this is the first time I've ever been a columnist. The strange thing is that after I left school in the States, I studied to be a journalist. Gary Cooper. Wow. Should have stuck to journalism, Gary. Nah, he did okay. He did okay. I tell you what, I'm sorry if this is going to offend anyone, but I love Anthony Perkins, but he looks so creepy. And I'm not sure if that's because I always associate him with Norman Bates, or he just has that vibe about him. But no, obviously he is awesome. What an actor. Yes, I'm a barefoot boy. With his first important picture, Friendly Persuasion, Tony Perkins made the cover of Life magazine, a rare honour for any star, and almost unheard of in the case of brand new male star. But he was worth it, for in Life's opinion and mine, Tony Perkins is going to be this year's romantic blockbuster. That's good. Give me an old-fashioned negligee. Publicity Jane. Lee Sharon, exciting Texan stripper who's been in London for a year, poses a special picture for Photoplay. Well, thank you, Lee. Joan Fontaine snapped with Jimmy Mason on the set, and Jane Mansfield seen out with Mitty Hartegay. Spotlight on film. So this is our bit similar to the picture goers, and in quite a lot of the magazines they go through the films. Oh, High Society, what do they say about that? 3 stars. What's it out of? Is it out of 5 or is it out of 3? Crosby is the millionaire songwriter who pursues ex-wife Grace Kelly on the eve of marriage to businessman John Lund. Magazine reporter Frank Sinatra sent with his camera woman Celeste Holm creates further complications when he, too, falls in love with Grace. Everything finally sorts itself out with Miss Kelly and Mr. Crosby walking down the aisle again to the Louis Armstrong version of the Wedding March. Isn't that a spoiler alert? But yeah, that's cool. I tell you what, though. I mean, I love Grace Kelly. I love Frank Sinatra. I love Bing Crosby. I mean, hell, I love Louis Armstrong as well. And I love the music in it. But you know what? It's never, ever, ever, ever going to compare to the original, which, in my opinion, just totally surpasses it. Philadelphia Story. It's just so good. But there you go. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with that, or do you prefer that version? Pop Parade. Oh, another little Satchmo. Man, it's Satchmo. A nice little article there with Louis Armstrong. Do love Louis Armstrong. The 4th of July is an important day to Americans. To jazz fans, it means a great deal too. For on that day, Louis Armstrong was born, the greatest exponent of jazz. Yeah, I can agree with that. Do you like some Billy Armstrong? That's a totally different person. Louis Armstrong. Send for the new. That's a cool little thing. Currys Limited. I wonder if that's the same Currys that we got now in the UK. Wow, I didn't realise it was that long going. So that's pretty cool. And then it kind of goes into a few more little articles here. Some advertisements. Yes, now I can smile. Well, that's good. Oh, look. I love it when they haven't filled out the crossword as well. And we're finishing off with King Kong. Pinewood Studios. One of my favourite ads as well. Gentlemen still prefer blondes. Don't be a mouse. Brush on golden shading. Probably pronounced that wrong, but there you go. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look your loveliest with Knight's Castle. Oh, look. And this is a good thing as well. It carries on with articles in the back as well. Life with Father. So we've got that that article with Living with Alfred Hitchcock by Patricia Hitchcock. Very cool. Feel free to have a little read on that. On our Patreon. So definitely little Nescafe bit there. Cool. Yeah, definitely have a little have a log on to that Patreon or whatever. There's lots of free stuff on there. Every time I do a YouTube video, you can download the magazine for free in high res as well in PDF. So that's a good little thing for you. Please like, share, and subscribe to Instagram and to everything else. All the links are down in the bottom. And I look forward to talking at you in the next one.